Well, good evening once again, volleyball fans of all shapes and sizes. Welcome back to Upper St. Clair High School, home of the Panthers on Cable 7, your local access station in Upper St. Clair. My name is Kevin McGahey, doing the announcing tonight. Mike Shogri is my videographer, and it's our pleasure to bring you tonight's contest between the homestanding Panthers of Upper St. Clair and the visiting Highlanders of Baldwin High School. They've already played once this year. Baldwin won in 5. These teams are incredibly evenly matched, and I'll get to some details as the match progresses. Baldwin is overladen with juniors, much like Upper St. Clair has only 2 seniors. So does Baldwin. Baldwin has a lot of juniors and 2 sophomores on the squad. Upper St. Clair, as you may remember, if you've seen the other telecast, has only 2 seniors on the squad, 3 juniors, and a horde of sophomores who will be coming up a year after what's going on at Baldwin here. 3 weeks ago, we played at Baldwin. Baldwin, the Highlanders, won in 5. They get first serve tonight. Upper St. Clair with a back set to Pat Ty, easily handled by number 22. And that would be Neil Duran, the junior, with a slicing attack, and the Baldwin Highlanders draw first blood. This is game 1 of a best-of-5 match. The games go to 25. You have to win them by 2, and the match is best-of-5. So the first team to win 3 games goes home happy. We hope it's the St. Clair Panthers time. We'll soon find out. Austin Everett with the first attack attempt of the night goes into the Baldwin block, and he just oozes it over the net that time. Picked up by the purple. Oozes it right back. Austin Everett picks it back up. Austin, one more shot at it, and off the hand of Milan Jekic, defensive specialist and a junior, and Upper St. Clair evens in match very early, game number 1 of the best-of-5 match. It's 1-1, and junior Pat Ty heads back to the serving line for the Panthers. Overhead serve, little topspin, nothing too complicated. Baldwin overpassed it a little bit, but it came right back for a nice hit attempt. The sophomore Troy Murphy. Clay Mucci couldn't do much with it. Comes right back. Austin Everett picks it up right back from Troy Murphy into the Baldwin block and dug nicely. Blocked, but gone away. Well, it's off a tip, actually. Works out for the Panthers. And the Panthers take their first lead of the match at 2-1. Pat Ty again with the Upper St. Clair overhand serve. Came in low and hard, but handled by the Highlanders. Not much on it. Well, it won't be much on it for the Panthers either. Austin Everett over the net and a rescued left side, and an awkward set. Neil Duran had to come way to his left to get at that thing. The unfortunate set gives a point to the Panthers. We'll take it, and it's a 3-1 Panther lead. Game number 1. Pat Ty, 3 points in a row already. Let's see what else Pat's got in his bag of tricks. Low hard serve handled by the Highlanders. From the right side this time, that was also Neil Duran. Comes up short. That net's 8 feet tall. That hit was only about 7 feet. Did not make it over, and it's a nice 4-point run for the Panthers to start things off here in game number 1. Pat Ty again with a serve. Little side spin like a slider kick came over the net. Almost dug out of there. 23 is Mike DeLizer. He's the big middle hitter and a sophomore for the Highlanders. It sort of rolled down Troy Murphy's stomach. He's number 10 and the sophomore for the Panthers. That sends the point in the side out over to Baldwin. On the second ball, usually you expect a set coming there, but on the 2 ball, way long. No tip called, and that goes sails about 20 feet long. Panthers get the benefit of that, and that was Dave Walker, number 22. With that attack attempt goes long. Panthers have the side out and the serve. Sophomore Troy Murphy. Overhand driving serve. Comes to the left side. Hit way long by Travis Foster, yet another one of the juniors for Baldwin. He's an outside hitter. Sends it long. Panthers with a 4-point lead, largest of the match so far. It's still real early in game number 1. 6-2 Panthers. Short set and off the Austin Everett block. Troy Murphy right back to Austin Everett, and a soft one to the back row and brought out of there. Not much on it. No power at all for Baldwin. Now to the right side. Brett McCormick handled that one. Scott Perry, the one of the two seniors on the squad. In the back row, Austin Everett just hoisting it over, and it works. Now you expect those to come with power, but Austin Everett with his first, well, we'll call it a kill of the night. There wasn't too much on it, but it works. Didn't come back. Kill number one. And the Baldwin Highlanders take a quick timeout here. Coach Eric Falcione, I'm sure, wants to calm his troops down. I'm sure they didn't expect this to have the Panthers jet out to a 5-point lead so early in game number one, but it's been, both teams have had trouble getting off the track here. It's mostly been points of errors, not of any spectacular offensive capability. By attacks, I mean. Panthers have just the one from Austin Everett. Otherwise, it's been a pretty normal game. Everybody getting their floor leg set here. Panthers with the early advantage, so that works out for us. But we will see what Coach Falcione did to get his troops fired up. Meanwhile, sophomore Troy Murphy, number 10, continues with a St. Clair serve. Sort of a knuckle serve, not much on it, but the short set, and once again into the net. So far, things are working out for the Panthers. Mike DeLizer again, the middle hitter, sophomore, pounds it down but into the net, and it's a 6-point Panther lead at 8-2. Troy Murphy again with that knuckle, that fooled. Yeah, I could read Mikasa on that ball as it sailed over the net. Those knuckleball serves fool the defense. That one certainly did. Baldwin, that's the first service ace of the night. It belongs to Troy Murphy, and that lead is now 7 for the Panthers. Top spin that time. Still stays in the back row, so won't be much coming. And there again, Dave Walker from the back row with the kill attempt. Hammers it into the net, and the Panthers lead is now 8. We're still in game number 1 of the best of 5 match. It's 10-2 Panthers. Little top spin. Troy Murphy's used them all so far. Clay Mucha with the set to Brett McCormick, just barely over the net and barely almost comes back, not quite. Big hit by Clay Mucha, but it comes back again. Another DeLizer attempt, but the block by the Panthers sends that one back on the Baldwin side, and it's a 9-point Panther lead. It's only game number 1, but it's a mighty good sign for the Panthers tonight. Troy Murphy continuing with that serve. But that one he got underneath, sailed it way long by 10 or 15 feet. Service error gives us the side out end point to the Highlanders. This is number 4, Nathan Swagger. He's a junior and their setter. Troy Murphy to the right side. Austin Everett, but into the Baldwin block. Successful defensive point for the Highlanders, and they're back to within 7. It's 11-4. Panthers leading game number 1. Scott Perry picks it up from the back row. Troy Murphy on the 2-ball. Was it pancaked? No, looks like it did hit the floor. Nice attempt by Nathan Swagger to try to get his hand underneath that. But Troy Murphy on the second touch fools the Highlanders. That one probably would have sailed long, but the Highlanders chose to return it. Troy Murphy, little back set to Brett McCormick, but into the net. Not touched by Baldwin. So that's 4 hits. You only get 3 in this game. Error sends a side out, and point over to Baldwin. Still trailing by 7. Substitution, number 5 out, Milan Jekic. And number 20 on, Brian Swickline for Baldwin. Well, nicely handled. An awkward the pass by Austin Everett was risky, and that one, Travis Foster, the junior outside hitter, finally gets his first kill of the night. Point Baldwin. They're back within 6. It's a 12-6 Panther lead. Mike DeLizer on the back row with the serve for Baldwin. Nice top spin serve. Dives over the net. Called out, but not by much. And no tip. From where I'm sitting 16 rows back in the stands, that could have gone either way, but it was called out. Point for Baldwin. Scott Perry, senior from the right side, sails it long, and the Panthers have come uncorked here a little bit. After having a 9-point lead, the Baldwin Highlanders have hiked that back to 4. And Mike DeLizer once again with the serve. Brett McCormick again long. Panthers are getting underneath a lot of these balls. The sets are looking fine from where I stand, but the hitters are getting under these and sailing them way out of bounds. trying to be just a little too clever, it seems. Is your phone beacon? Do you have a phone? Can you make that stop, please? Well, here's Mike DeLizer again. The lead is now down to 3 for the Panthers. Not sure what that controversy was all about. Hard diving serve handled by Austin Everett from the back row. Austin with the attack. Back set to Baldwin from the right side and should be out. No tip. Works out for the Panthers. And again, they're doing the same thing the Panthers have been doing. That would hit nice stroke on the ball, but came way wide into the crowd. And it's a 13-9 Panther lead, side out. And junior Clay Mucha, number 11 now, with the serve for the Panthers. Little hop serve. Short set, Mike DeLizer into the Pat tie with the block for a point. Mike DeLizer had a really good look at that. Oh, pardon me, that was number 20. That was Brian Swickline with a really good look at it. Hammered it right into the Pat tie block. Point Panthers. Another strong hit for Baldwin, this time off of Dave Walker's hand. And does it go over? Nope, that's not going to cut it. Nice try by the Highlanders to get that one back in business. But the point for the Panthers, and the lead is back to 6 at 15-9. Clay Mucha still with that hop serve. Nothing on it, but handled nicely. Clay dug that out of the air. Scott Perry had the right idea. He was going up as if he was going to hit it with power. Then he was going to just touch it over the net. Didn't work. Touched it into the net instead. Side out and point for Baldwin. Back to Travis Foster with the Highlander serve. Brett McCormick with the slicing attack attempt, handled by Nathan Swagger. Scott Perry digs it out. The set to Troy Murphy. Back set to Brett McCormick and down just over the net. It's not how hard you hit him, it is where, and that's Brett McCormick's first kill of the night. 16-10, 6-point Panther lead. We're still in game number 1 of this best-of-5 match. Game goes to 25. You win it by 2. Not like in the old days when a game was to 15 and you could only score on your own serve when I was playing. Not anymore. Scott Perry, but snuffed out of there by the Highlanders. And again, Pat Ty doing the similar thing. Highlanders playing excellent defense right now, picking up a lot of loose balls. Somebody in the net. Who was it? Looks like. Well, it looks like Scott Perry from the Panthers was in the net. You cannot touch the net in the middle of a play. That violation sends the serve right and the point right back over to the Highlanders. Brett McCormick out. Sophomore Rob Senge, number 20, in. He's a defensive specialist. Knuckle serve. Scott Perry takes care of that. Troy Murphy right back to Scott. Little top spin attack. Nothing there. Handled by Neil Duran, the junior outside hitter for Baldwin, and the Highlanders are back within 4 at 16-12. Hanging around there. The Panthers had that nice string of points early on. Baldwin caught back up within 4. A couple of points for the Panthers, couple more for Baldwin, and we're stuck at 4-point lead, 16-12. Second ball over. Almost fools the Highlanders, but they do get it back on the third ball. Troy Murphy with this set. Scott Perry on the left side into the block. Well, 4 hits called. It did not touch a Baldwin player. 4 hits called, and now that lead for the Panthers is down to 3 at 16-13. Dave Walker for Baldwin with the serve. And that goes way long. Got to get him out of the weight room. Works out for the Panthers. Lead is back to 4, 17-13. You've heard me say this before. As you get to 20-point territory, you want to have a little cushion to work with. Scott Perry, low, hard driving serve, but into the net. Service error sends it side out and point back to Baldwin. Number 5 for the Highlanders, Milan Jekic. Nice little easy side spin serve, but Scott Perry passed it to basically nobody over in the front left corner of the net, and that lead is now cut down to 2. Panthers need a couple of points here. First of all, to break this string the Highlanders have got going and get a couple of points of our own. Jekic with that serve again. Zach Weber this time. Austin Everett just oozing the ball over the net. Did not work. 2 ball comes right back to the Panthers. Yep, double hit called. Rob Senge got his body twisted going after that one, and now it's the 1-point lead. We're all even up, and this is reminiscent of what happened at the Baldwin gym 3 weeks ago when that was so close. It actually went to 5 games in overtime before Baldwin came away with that victory. Austin Everett up high, but into the Baldwin block. Troy Murphy just making sure the ball gets back in play. Scott Perry, Troy Murphy 2-ball, hits it right at Baldwin again. They smelled that one out. Austin Everett off the tip and handled again by the Highlanders, playing some excellent defense, getting all these balls. Troy Murphy just oozing it over the net, comes right back. Austin Everett to the back corner. Baldwin again after that ball. Panthers can't seem to make one hit the floor. Scott Perry retrieving that and over on the third ball. Rob Senge making sure that happens. That was Mike DeLizer. Excellent rally, best of the rally of the night. Austin Everett finally off the block and down. Austin Everett with his second kill of the night. A crowd-pleasing rally right there that the Panthers come out on top. It's a 2-point St. Clair lead at 18-16. Pat Tye, the junior hitter, runs to the back line with the St. Clair serve. Little topspin serve. Right back, almost an overpass, but not quite. Mike DeLizer off the Panther tip, saved by Scott Perry, and back over by Rob Senge. Very nicely done by Scott Perry. But with power, that was a nice set of Neil Duran, the junior outside hitter for Baldwin, damaging the polyurethane on the St. Clair side, and it's still a 1-point Panther lead at 18-17. Overpass goes right back to Baldwin. They got out of there by Austin Everett from the back row. Scott Perry, top spin. Baldwin getting the doggone near everything here. To the left side, Austin Everett off a tip. That's what the blockers wanted, to pop it up in the air for the team to use again, which they did, happened beautifully that time. Joust at the net. Well, St. Clair won the joust, but did not get the point. Now it's just hoisted over on the third ball. Panthers working hard, then finally Austin Everett off the hands of Milan Jekic in the defense, and Austin Everett has only his third kill of the night to lead all Panthers. It's a 19-17 2-point Panther lead. Brett McCormick back on the floor. Rob Senge, the sophomore, off for a while. We expect to see him back. Troy Murphy, sophomore, with the serve for St. Clair. To the left side. Zach Weber, the overpass, and yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, unfortunately, Zach Weber got to the ball, but passed it a little too far, actually over the net. Hammered right back down by the Highlanders. We want to make sure that pass goes to your front line and not the other team's front line. 19-18, Panther lead. Nathan Swagger, number 4 with serve for Baldwin. Back set. Austin Everett, good look at it, but it came up short into the net, and this match is all tied up at 19 after the Panthers had quite a comfortable lead early on in the match. Nathan Swagger once again with a serve. To the left side, Brett McCormick. And that's down no matter how you slice. I wasn't sure whether it's tipped or not, but Brett McCormick with his second kill of the night, and the Panthers maintain that lead at 2019. They haven't trailed since it was 1-0 Baldwin. Austin Everett, the junior hitter, has led all St. Clair hitters all season long. That tip serve, if you could just do that every time, it throws the defense way off. And it counts in the old days when I was playing. The tip serve you could not, the net serve you could not play. It is playable in the modern game. That one lands in. Dave Walker finding a spot in the back left corner on the slicing attack. Substitution back on the floor is Brian Swickline, the middle hitter. And a senior for the Baldwin Highlanders, Mike DeLizer, the sophomore, to the back row for the serve. Diving serve. Austin Everett had a pretty good look at it. And the Baldwin Highlanders have taken their first lead of the match since they led 1-0. Mike DeLizer, tall to start with, and hammers that hard driving topspin serve. Austin Everett hoists it right back to the Baldwin side. Not much for them to use. Zach Weber, the senior. Troy Murphy, little back left to Scott Perry, the other senior. Off a tip and handled by the Highlanders. Comes right back. Unfortunately, Troy Murphy got it to the front line, but nobody was standing there, and suddenly Baldwin in control and a 2-point lead at 22-20. Game goes to 25. Should the teams end up tied at 24, we go to extra time. And Coach Jack Zebo for the Upper St. Clair Panthers takes a quick timeout. I know he does not want to see this game number one get away. Yep, sure, it's going to be a long night. It's a best-of-5 match, but the Panthers basically had control of this match early on and have allowed the Highlanders little by little to get right back in it without too much offensive power going on. 3 kills for Austin Everett, 2 for Brett McCormick, 1 for Troy Murphy. Scott Perry has had 1 fabulous dig to maintain play and only 1 service ace, that also by Troy Murphy. So I'm sure what Jack Zebo is trying to do is get the Panthers to play a little bit better defense. They're not able to rely on Baldwin mistakes because Baldwin's defense, they are getting to everything. They're digging balls. They are getting to the things that normally other teams wouldn't get to. It's not how hard you hit them. It is where, and you want to make the defense move. You don't want to be hitting them right at the defenders. Want to make a move for it. Mike DeLizer with a hard driving serve for Baldwin. Highlanders lead 22-20. Short set off a tip. Mike DeLizer from the back row brings it right back on the left side. That is Travis Foster again into the St. Clair block. Dribbles down the front of Brett McCormick's stomach to the floor, and it's a 3-point Baldwin lead. Panthers needing to stop this run right now and come up with 2 or 3 points of their own. They're handling the serve just fine. It's what they do afterwards that's the problem, and that one sails long. There's a bonus for the Panthers. Trailing by 2, 23-21, needing a couple of points right now. The bad news is the receiving team generally has the advantage. Substitution, Mike DeLizer, number 23, out. Greg Hilliard, usually playing the barrel. He's a defensive specialist and a junior, in for Baldwin. At the net, that was probably, it didn't go over. And the Panthers got the crucial point they needed. Clay Mucha, the junior with the serve, just sort of lofting it over the net, nothing fancy. And the block, well done by Pat Ty. Timely block, timely result. And the Panthers have crawled back in this. They're tied up at 23. 2 more points wins it, but Coach Eric Falcione of Baldwin now does what Jack Zebo for St. Clair did just a minute ago. He had control of this thing at 23-20. The Panthers have come back with 3 quick points to knot this game number 1 up at 23. And indeed, we're playing out just what we saw 3 weeks ago at the Baldwin gym. 2 extremely evenly matched teams, and it sort of hinges on who makes fewer mistakes. So far, it's been absolutely equal. And as you remember, the game goes to 25. Somebody has to win it by 2. If nobody gets the next 2 points, that is, if they split it, then tie at 24, then they keep playing until somebody does win it by 2. Here again, though, the receiving team has the advantage. If they can handle the serve, they get the first shot at a classic bump set attack, and Clay Mucha will try to make sure that doesn't happen. Just over the net. Had a good breeze behind him, and that should be a 4-hit. Sure enough, did not get over the net. Not touched by St. Clair. That Dave Walker had a pretty good look at it, but came up short. Now the Panthers needing 1 more to close out game number 1. Clay Mucha, not that time. He tried to do the same thing, in the service error sends the point over to Baldwin. Still, now we're into extra points. First team to lead by 2 wins the match. Travis Foster with the Baldwin serve just over the net. Back set, Brett McCormick sails it just long. Brett had a really good look at it. Ended up about 1.5 feet behind the back line, out of bounds, and Baldwin now in control. Receiving team with the advantage. Short set, Pat Ty into the block. Comes right back. The joust at the net, won by St. Clair, but no point. Come right back. Just tips the net again. Playable. Troy Murphy to Pat Ty. Too bad the Panthers couldn't use that, because now Baldwin with a chance. Oh, handled nicely by Austin Everett. Tapped over by Pat Ty, but Austin Everett's the one that made that possible with the dig. Pat Ty with a successful kill. We're at 25. We keep going. Somebody's got to win by 2, and sophomore Brett McCormick steps back with the serve. To the front line, left side. Neil Duran again, and there's why the receiving team has the advantage. When they can handle that serve, they get the first attempt at a kill, just like the coaches draw it up. Brett McCormick out, defensive specialist Rob Senge in. Dave Walker at the back row for the serve for Baldwin. Scott Perry from the back row. Out. Look, okay, what happened just there is it was tough for me to see, but the pass went outside of the red and white antenna. The pass went outside the red and white antenna. It's called out. Baldwin awarded the point, and that's the end of game number one. Baldwin comes away with game number one, 27-25. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back for game number two. Stay with us on Cable 7. Welcome back, everybody. It was only microseconds for you. It was about 3 minutes for us. We've taken a break after game number one of this best-of-5 match. You just saw Baldwin come away with game number one, that is, 27-25 in a very closely contested game number one. Panthers with the first serve. And that hit rattles off the right hand of Rob Senge. And just like in game number one, the Baldwin Highlanders draw first blood. We're in game number two of this best-of-5 match. It's 1-0 Baldwin. Scott Perry bringing it back. Short set. Pat Tye into the block, though. Same thing, short set and long. First it came up short, this time long. Pat Tye had a pretty good look at it. Sails it about 8 feet long, out of bounds over the back line. Serve stays with Baldwin. 2-0, game number two. Overpass, yep. The overpass hit it right to the net. Pat Tye went after, but his wrist hit the net. The net violation sends the point to Baldwin, and it's 3-0 Highlanders. Scott Perry, short set. Pat Tye again. The set looked pretty good, but Pat got under it, sailed it way long, and Baldwin has the first 4 points of game number two. Neil Duran continuing with the serve. Called in. That's really where you want to serve it, is right on the back line. It gives some indecision to the back row players for the receiving team, and that's exactly what happened. The Panthers let it go, and it fell in for a service ace for Baldwin. Scott Perry, the overpass back to the net, and picked up by Baldwin. Joust, won by St. Clair. Point, and won by St. Clair. They get off the schneid here in game number two. It's 5-1. Pat Tye, the junior, heads back to serve. Zach Weber, the libero in the black shirt, heads out. Clay Muche in. Now let's see if the Panthers can't get some of these 5 points back. Well, that's not going to do it. That's a short serve by Pat Tye. Service error, side out Baldwin, and it's 6-1, 5-point Highlander lead, their largest of the match. We're only in game number two, but it's still the largest lead of the match for the Highlanders. Nathan Swager with a nice and easy serve. Set comes back over Austin Everett's head. Couldn't get to any leverage on it. Scott Perry comes up with that one. Nicely done. Referee called that it hit the screen suspended over the net. You cannot touch any obstacle on the court and have the ball go to the other side. It can land on your own side, but it can't go over to the other side. Violation, and point for Baldwin. Austin Everett in and off the Baldwin block. Austin Everett finally with a great looking kill. His fourth of the night. First of game number two. Panthers trail by 5. It's 7-2 Highlanders. Sophomore Austin Murphy with the serve. Sophomore Rob Senge, number 20, out. Sophomore Brett McCormick, 23, in. From the right side, Zach Weber keeping that ball in play. Great dig, but that did hit structure. You probably didn't see it on camera, but that did hit the vent. Hanging over the court, changed the direction of the ball, and it ended up landing where nobody was. Great dig by Zach Weber, though, to keep that ball alive. Mike DeLizer with the Baldwin serve. Back set, Austin Everett. Slicing attack, it's into the net. You're allowed to dig it out of the net, but it's a very difficult thing to do. Brian Swickline had a decent look at it, but you never know the tension of the net. He could not dig it back out. Side out and point to the Panthers. Again, trailing 8-3, Austin Everett with the serve. Overpass to the net. That time it was dug out by Nathan Swager. Short set off the Baldwin block, off the Brian Swickline block. Lands on the Panthers side. Lead back to 6 for Baldwin. 9-3. We're game number 2. This best-of-5 match. Baldwin's already won game number 1. Substitution on the floor with number 10. It's the first time we've seen him is junior Warren McGuire. Travis Foster takes a quick break. I imagine we'll see him again because he can hit. McGuire with the serve. Hard driving serve, but out of bounds. Service error sends the ball right back to the Panthers. This time it's junior Clay Mucha stepping up to serve. Panthers trail by 5, 9-4. Little hop serve. Yeah, lift called. It was an odd pass. And the set ended up being scooped, sort of like palming a basketball. Lift called, point to the Panthers. Clay Mucha again with a serve. Just over the net. Rescued by Troy Murphy. Short set to the middle off the St. Clair block. Kept in play again, Austin Everett this time. Scott Perry, yep, nothing on it, keeping the ball in play. Back set right side into the St. Clair block. Scott Perry and Pat Ty with the block for a point. Lands on the Baldwin side. Panthers crawling back a point at a time is all it takes. Baldwin leads 9-6. Clay Mucha once again with the serve. It'll come from the back row this time and nothing on it for Baldwin. Now can the Panthers use it? Set from Troy Murphy, right side Scott Perry into the net, then touched back, apparently blocked. Back on the St. Clair side, side out point Baldwin. 10-6. Well, a little more indecision there on the side of the Panthers. Scott Perry and Austin Everett. That serve sailed right between them, landed inside the back line. Service ace for Baldwin, and the 5-point lead is back at 11-6. Scott Perry right side off the hands of Dave Walker and brought right back in. Dave Walker again sails it right back to the Panther side. Short set, Brett McCormick from the right side, the slicing attack. Brett McCormick, third kill tonight. Panthers hanging around, still trailing by 4. It's 11-7 Baldwin. Brett McCormick with the serve. To the back left corner. From the back row, Baldwin, not a good angle there for Dave Walker. Hammers it into the net. Point for the Panthers, 11-8. Baldwin still leads. Timeout called by Coach Falcione. Using the let's calm down type signal for his team. That Dave Walker just let one get away with him, away from him that time. Panthers not in a position where they can trade points right now. Trading points is not going to do it. It's going to take a little run of 3, 4, 5 points for the Panthers to get this lead back. Austin Everett still leads everybody with kills, although he only has 5 so far tonight in about a game and a half. Brett McCormick with 3, Troy Murphy with 1, Pat Ty with 1. It's been more a case of attacks going long and wide or serves into the net where the points have come from, not from any huge offensive strategy so far. 4 blocks for points for the Panthers, 2 from Pat Ty, 1 from Austin Everett, 1 from Scott Perry. Meanwhile, sophomore Brett McCormick has a St. Clair serve. Panthers trailing 11-8. On the 2 ball, Zach Weber, the senior, digs that one out. Short set, Pat Ty, yeah, barely got to it. That timing was a little bit off. Sort of a lift called on the Panthers. The set got nice and high. Pat Ty was about a millisecond off. Side out and point to Baldwin. Milan Jekic, number 5, the junior with the serve. And that one does sail on. Good call that time. But it headed right to the back line. A little indecision by the defense, and they could have had another point. But luckily, 2 feet long, service error sends a serve right back to the Panthers. Right side, Neil Duran, but his slicing attack hammered smack into the net. Point for the Panthers. They're back within 2 at 12-10. Set left side, little edge in the ball just over the net, lands just in front of Rob Senge. You kind of expected power out of Mike DeLizer. Didn't happen, and he just oozed that ball into the open zone. And the Panthers, the lead is back to 3. 13-10 Baldwin. Short set, Pat Ty wide again. After a pretty good look at it, no tip. No Baldwin player touched it. And it's 14-10 Highlanders. To the right side, Austin Everett. Travis Foster, I'm substituted back on the floor. And with that kill off the St. Clair block and out of bounds, and that lead for Baldwin is back to 5 at 15-10. On the second ball, Troy Murphy hoisted it over, did not fool the Highlanders. Austin Everett this time, long again, 3 feet, about 3 feet long. Happening a lot to the Panthers tonight. They're over trying here. Sailing a lot of these attacks long and wide, and it's 6-point Baldwin lead at 16-10. Short set, Pat Ty that time. Doing a little damage to Neil Duran, but Pat Ty finally gets his second kill of the night. Well, scratch that. Point and the serve stay with Baldwin at 17-10. Lift called. I thought Baldwin was going to come away with that one too, but a lift was called. Violation gives Panthers control of the ball to serve. And a point. Panthers trail by 6, 17-11. Little push over the net. Nothing for Baldwin. Austin Everett, though, into the block. Apparently touched by Baldwin. Goes just over the net. The complicated scenario here. Well, a late call, but apparently a double hit called on the Panthers. Sends the point and serve back to Baldwin. They lead by 7. It's 18-11 Highlanders. Looked like a pretty good set when it left Troy Murphy's hands, but it unfortunately was set to nobody in the left front corner, and it's now an 8-point Baldwin lead at 19-11. Panthers needing a side out and points right now. Zach Weber to the front of the net. Troy Murphy, though, into the block. He was headed over on the 2 ball, but that came right back by Mike DeLizer. And now Baldwin sitting pretty here at 20-11, a 9-point lead. This is game number 2 of the best of 5 match. Baldwin won game number 1, 27-25. Austin Everett, but they're not fooling the Highlanders. The Baldwin's getting the doggone near everything, and then coming through with nice attacks like that. Travis Foster, and the lead is now 10. 21-10 for Baldwin. Nathan Swagger with that Highlander serve. Clay Mucha finally with his first kill of the night. Sort of a soft attack that finds the back right corner. Panthers trail by 9, 21-12. Troy Murphy, the sophomore, with the St. Clair serve. Little back set. Zach Weber keeping that one in play. Austin Everett off the hand of Milan Jekic and out of bounds. Point Panthers. 21-13. This is still game number 2 of the best of 5 match. Troy Murphy, little top spin serve. Mike DeLizer off the Austin Everett block. Back set, Brett McCormick, and it goes right back to the St. Clair side. Troy Murphy once more with the set left side now to Austin Everett, and down off the Baldwin block. Austin Everett. 7 kills tonight. The Panthers are back within 7, needing sort of a little bit of a miracle to make this big run. They need to keep in game number 2, but stranger things have happened, but that's not going to do it. That's a tape serve. Came up about 3 inches short from Troy Murphy. Point and side out to Baldwin. They lead by 8 at 22-14. Mike DeLizer, number 23 in the back line for the serve for Baldwin. Tape serve. It is playable. Back set, Austin Everett. Right back to Brett McCormick. Off the Baldwin block and down. Nicely done by Brett. 4 kills tonight for Brett McCormick, the sophomore. Panthers still trail by 7. Substitution, Greg Hilliard, number 12, the junior. We saw him earlier in this game. Mike DeLizer goes out. Austin Everett. St. Clair serve. Dave Walker. Zach Weber with a brilliant dive, keeping the ball alive. Scott Perry, what's he got? Off the Baldwin block and pancake. That's legal. He got his hand underneath it, bounced the ball up in the air. Looked like a foot violation under the net by one of the Panthers. You can step on the line, you can't put your whole foot over it. Side out, point to Baldwin, lead by 8, 23-15. Service error by Travis Foster, gives the Panthers point and serve, but trading points is not going to do it. Panthers need to rattle off 7 points in a row here somehow. Let's see what Clay Mucha's got. And now we have a serve to get it started. Neil Duran, the junior outside hitter, with power into the St. Clair block from Brett McCormick. And now it's about 8 game points for Baldwin at 24-16. Dave Walker with the serve. Back set, Brett McCormick. Off the hands of Greg Hilliard, and a point for the Panthers. That serve was going long. Baldwin chose to return it. And that one's out of bounds. Too much on it from Neil Duran. Panthers trail by 6, 24-18. Still need a miracle, but Brett McCormick, the sophomore, with the serve for St. Clair. To the left side. Somebody from the Panthers in the net, and that will do it. Baldwin comes away with game number 2. 25-18. They lead 2 games to none. I'm Kevin McGahee. My cameraman is Mike Shogri. And stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back for game number 3. It takes 3 to win the best-of-5 match. Stay with us. We are back after a quick break after game number 2. I'm Kevin McGahee. Mike Shogri's doing the camera work for us tonight. And it is April 22nd. And this is the Baldwin Highlanders. Come to visit the Upper St. Clair Panthers boys volleyball squad tonight. This is game number 3 of a best-of-5 match. Baldwin already in command with 2 games to none, and that's Austin Everett, the junior hitter, with his 8th kill of the night. And for the first time tonight, the Panthers draw first blood. It is 1-0 Upper St. Clair. Zach Weber, the senior libero with the odd-colored jersey, one of 2 seniors on the St. Clair squad, with the serve. To the left side, Mike DeLizer off the St. Clair block and off Rob Senge's hand. Number 20 out of bounds. And the Highlanders even it up at 1. Neil Duran with the Baldwin serve. Well, not much Austin ever could do with that, but keep the ball in play. Short set. Lands in off the hands of Mike DeLizer, the sophomore hitter for Baldwin, and they take the lead at 2-1 in game number 3. As you've seen, Baldwin's already won the first 2 games, 27-25 and 25-18 on the 2 ball. That finally fooled him. First time tonight, I think Troy Murphy has been able to do that and hit that one right over into the center of the defense, known as the donut or the donut hole. Sophomore Troy with the serve. Knuckle, could watch that one move all the way from back here, and set that didn't quite work for Baldwin, works for the Panthers. Austin Everett, and that one lands in just inside the back line. Austin Everett with a top spin on the ball, lands just inside, and it's a 3-2 Panther lead. Troy Murphy again with that serve. Knuckle serve, that fooled Milan Jekic. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to be out there returning some of this stuff. That's probably just like an old Phil Niekro knuckleball or Tim Wakefield for the modern day Red Sox. That knuckle serve just moves all over the place, and that handcuffed Milan Jekic. 4-2 Panthers 2-point lead in game number 3. To the left side and hammered down by Travis Foster into the net on the Baldwin side. The Panthers get the 3-point lead, something they did not enjoy in game number 2. Troy Murphy just off the net and playable. Zach Weber digging it off the floor. Mike DeLizer off the tap. Scott Perry keeping that ball in play. Troy Murphy, and on the third ball, oh, it went off the diffuser just like we saw in one of the earlier games, game number 2. Went off an air diffuser up in the ceiling, came down funny. Panthers unable to handle it. Sends it right back to the Highlanders. To the left side, and Brett McCormick off the Baldwin, blocking out of bounds. Brett McCormick, sophomore hitter, 6 kills tonight for Brett. Trails only Austin Everett with 9 tonight. Panthers with the side out point and a lead at 6-3. Austin Everett with the serve. Well, that might have handcuffed Neil Duran that time. He sort of pulled his hands back and put that pass low and into the net. That is a service ace for Austin Everett, his first of the night, only the second for the Panthers. And what the serving gods giveth, they taketh away. The short serve and the service error sends a side out and point over to Baldwin. Mike DeLizer, number 23, the sophomore. He's got that hard driving topspin serve. Austin Everett pulls it out. Troy Murphy on the set to Brett McCormick. Sails right back to the Panthers. They'll try it again. Short set this time to Clay Mucha. Hard driving attack. And lift called. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Coach Zebo may have a good case. I thought he had it with a fist. You can't do it with an open hand, or it's like palming a basketball, but with a fist you can hit underneath the ball. And I'm sure that's what Jack Zebo's kind of upset about, because it looked like a fist to me here. Scott Perry off 2 Baldwin tips. Back set, Brett McCormick off a tip and down. Off the wrist of Nathan Swagger, Brett McCormick. 7 kills tonight, and the Panthers enjoy a 3-point lead right now. Clay Mucha, the sophomore, number 11, with the Panther serve. Just eases the ball over the net, making sure right sort of at the net. Yep, hit the antenna, hit the red and white little pole you see there. That is out of bounds. You're not allowed to do that, and that violation. Point for the Panthers, and a 4-point lead at 9-5. Clay Mucha again, little hop serve. Back set to the right side, and with power, Austin Everett unable to handle it off of Travis Foster. Killed. That sends side out and point to Baldwin. Panthers still lead 9-6. It's game number 3. The match is best of 5, and Baldwin already has 2 games in hand. Panthers needing this one to stay alive in the match. Right side, Brett McCormick, just a little easy. Shove the ball over the net just inside the sideline, and Brett McCormick piling up the kills right now. That's 8 for Brett. Having a pretty good game number 3 right now, and it's a 4-point Panther lead at 10-6. Some confusion on the Panther positions right now. The down umpire checking to see who's supposed to be serving. It looks like it's supposed to be Brett McCormick. And all seems right with the world. We're ready to go again. Brett McCormick, the sophomore, with the St. Clair serve. Set to the left side, and that's a 4-hit. That didn't come back. It's an odd set. Oh, number 15 on the floor. First time we've seen him tonight is Tim Escajeda. And timeout called by Coach Eric Falcione of Baldwin. Panthers starting off with a little bit of life here in game number 3. We didn't see much of in game number 2. Already Brett McCormick's become an offensive power. The serves are falling in. The Panthers are making fewer mistakes this time, and have come out with a 5-point lead. It's 11-6 in game number 3. Panthers do not want to lose this one 3-0 here, especially in front of the home crowd. Brett McCormick stays with that serve, and let's see what the Panthers can do to keep or expand this 5-point lead. Brett McCormick, serve handled by Baldwin. Little back set to the right side, and with power, nobody from St. Clair touched it. Sails long and out of bounds, and the Panthers right now in game number 3 have doubled up the Highlanders. It's 12-6. Brett McCormick still with that serve. Baldwin had a great look at it, but the attack sailed way wide into the Panther crowd. This one out from the left side. Into the net, dug out by Pat Ty. Left side again. Indecision. Caught between Brett McCormick and Austin Everett. Panthers did not go after it. The attack falls as a kill for the Highlanders, and they're back within 5. It's 12-7 Panthers. Brett Stanford, number 22, with a serve. If you could just teach that serve every time to tip the net, it fools the defense completely. Timing is all off, and those things work almost every time they're tried. Brett Stanford once again with a serve. Scott Perry blocked by Baldwin to the back row. Nicely done by Zach Weber. Not much of a chance for Baldwin, but it comes right back. Now we get to set it up a little bit. Scott Perry with a slicing attack, dug out of there by Neil Duran. Off the pad tie block and down. Nicely done by the Highlanders. They're back within 3 after the Panthers had a 6-point lead. Baldwin now back within 3 at 12-9. Brett Stanford, number 22, with that Baldwin serve. That fools him again. Troy Murphy, you're expecting Troy Murphy to set it for a power attack. That time he just oozed it over the net into the donut hole. Counts for the Panthers, point and side out, and senior Scott Perry now with a serve and a 4-point lead at 13-9. Tips the net again, handled this time by Baldwin, but no power on that attack. Troy Murphy with the set to Austin Everett, left side into the Baldwin block and brought back. Brilliant defense played all night by Baldwin. Austin Everett again finds the back right corner. Austin Everett seems to have gotten control of his kills. He was sailing a lot of them long and wide earlier in the match. That's 10 tonight. He's in double figures finally for Austin Everett. Scott Perry, the senior, once again with that serve. From the back row, Brett Stanford, Scott Perry digging it out of there. Short set to Pat Tye, but an awkward set. Troy Murphy this time with a hit attempt. It goes into the Baldwin block. Pat Tye. The set came up a little bit short, fooled Pat Tye, but he hit it in, and he hit it into the net. Substitutions for Baldwin. Number 23, Mike DeLizer back on the floor, as is number 5, Milan Jekic. We've seen both those guys a lot tonight. Austin Everett, but it hits into the net, and Baldwin miraculously comes back with that one. Austin gets another chance into the net and off, and looks like 4 hits called. It did not touch a Baldwin defender. Point for Baldwin. Number 5, Milan Jekic with a serve, and the first time tonight we'll see sophomore Will Shea, number 9, who's giving Austin Everett a quick break. 3-point Panther lead, 14-11. Right side, Pat Tye with power. Pat Tye, only his 3rd kill tonight, but a good one to break a cup, just break the momentum that Baldwin might have accumulated here. It's still, Panthers have led through almost throughout game number 3. It's still a 4-point lead at 15-11. Senior Zach Weber with the serve to the left side, close to the net, and that's a good move by Mike DeLizer with the left hand just to edge that ball over the net, over the front line, not covered by the Panthers, and it's a 3-point deficit for Baldwin at 15-12. Short set to Clay Mucha and right at one of the Baldwin players. Left side, Will Shea into the Baldwin block. Will get another shot at it. Slicing attack finds a spot just in front of the back row. Will Shea with his first kill of the night. 4-point Panther lead at 16-12. It'd be nice to run a few out here. Panthers need 9 to finish out game number 3. Troy Murphy with a topspin serve. Mike DeLizer, no power. Zach Weber reached back over his head for that one, and Brett McCormick to the back row. More conventional this time. Brett McCormick on the back set, but sails away long into the Baldwin bench. Had a good look at it. Got a little bit under it, powered it long. Panthers still lead by 3. It's 16-13. Baldwin with the serve and Nathan Swagger. Troy Murphy to the left side. Brett McCormick came in a little too low for Brett to do much with it, but it did fool Nathan Swagger, who hoisted kind of out of bounds into the St. Clair bench. The 4-point lead still maintained by the Panthers, and Will Shea, the sophomore, steps back for serve. To the net, Mike DeLizer into the block. Put right back by Clay Mucha, now to the left side. And that one just tipped off the hands of Brett McCormick and out of bounds. It's not how hard you hit him, it is where. And right now the Panthers and Highlanders trading points. It's working out for the Panthers, but you can't kind of live off this. Panthers got to put together a string of 2 or 3 points to give themselves a cushion as they get to 20-point territory. Clay Mucha. Nicely done, Clay. The trading points thing is still holding. Here we go. I've told you this before in previous games. It's the receiving team that has the advantage. As they get the first shot. Had a bump set attack. It's worked for both squads here lately. And works again for Baldwin. The lead goes from 4-3 to 4-3 to 4-3 to 4-3 because the receiving team is making hay just like the coaches draw it up. Brett McCormick off the Baldwin tip and kept in. The Baldwin won't have much of a chance at it, just keeping the ball in play. Panthers get to use it this time. Short set to Pat Ty. Now to the left side, and Scott Perry off the Baldwin block and down. Scott Perry, his first kill of the night. Usually we see a few more from Scott. 4-point Panther lead. Brett McCormick, the sophomore, with the serve, 19-15. Short set right side. Apparently not touched. Couldn't see from here whether it was touched by the Panther defender or not. It was not. It's a 4-hit violation for Baldwin, and Panthers now with a 5-point cushion at 20-15. Brett McCormick with that serve. Will Shea picks it up. It's just out of bounds. Nicely picked up by Will Shea off the Neil Joran attack. That means point and side out to Baldwin, and Brett Stanford, number 22, with the Highlander serve, and comes in way low. I know he wishes he had that one back, but the Panthers again with a 5-point lead at 21-16. Now senior Scott Perry. Be nice to have a service ace right about now. Well, didn't happen, but what happened was Brian Swickline, the senior hitter, had a good look at it and sailed it about 12 feet long, and now it's a 6-point lead for the Panthers at 22-16. Just rolls it over the net, then there's the service ace I was asking for just a minute ago. When you roll it over the net like that, it completely throws the defense off. Point for the Panthers, needing 2 more to hang in this match. The set, the Highlanders won't be able to do much with it, and sure enough they can't, but now the Panthers with a chance to use it. Will Shea off the Baldwin block, but the Highlanders come back with it. That's great, Neil Joran. Well, again with the good eyes. Eyes were big as teacups, that whatever that image conveys, but right now it's 8 game points for the Panthers, just like Baldwin had last game. To the front line, to the left side, Joran. Troy Murphy on the 2-ball did not fool Baldwin. Going backwards that time, that's not really what you want. Zach Weber to the front line, Troy Murphy, the short set to Pat Ty, and down, and that's that. Zephyr St. Clair comes away with game number 3 at 25-16. We'll take another one of those breaks and be right back for game number 4. It goes to best of 5, 2 games to 1. Baldwin, stay with us, everybody, for game number 4. All right, everybody, you've hung in with us this long. We're headed for game number 4 now in this best of 5 match, with St. Clair needing another victory, just like they got in game number 3, which you just saw them having won 25-16. Baldwin took game number 1 27-25 and game number 2 25-18, and Scott Perry with the opening serve and comes up about 6 inches short of that 8-foot net, and Baldwin gets the first point, 1-0. Baldwin wins this game, we go home. St. Clair wins it, we go to 5. Troy Murphy the back set to Pat Ty. One gets again into the net. Came up way low. Pat Ty does get up high and hammers that ball down. But that time it came low into the net. Travis Foster with the Baldwin serve. 2-ball from Troy Murphy. Fourth time he's fooled him on that tonight. They're expecting a set and a real live kill, but not that time. Troy Murphy finds the donut hole. Side out and point Panthers. Senior Zach Weber, number 15 with the black shirt. Heads to the back line for the serve. Tough break off the hands of Scott Perry and out of bounds. It wasn't much of a kill really, but it did fool Scott a little bit. He tried to wrist it with the one hand, did not work, goes backwards instead of forwards, and Baldwin with the side out to point, and number 23 Mike DeLizer, sophomore hitter, to the back line with the serve. 3-1 Baldwin, game number 4. Mike Shogre's doing the camera work for me tonight. I'm Kevin McGahee, and I'm glad you've stuck with us. Yeah, the set went over the head of Clay Mucha. Will Shea, number 9, tried to come up with it, but he got underneath with an open hand. That's a lift, a violation, and point for Baldwin. Back to Will Shea from the left side into the Baldwin block. Comes right back. Panthers handle it. Will Shea over. Backs at that time Brett Stanford for Baldwin, number 22. Just over the net from Rob Senge. Scott Perry rescuing that ball from oblivion. Will Shea with an off-balance kill and a lift called on Baldwin that time. Point to the Panthers. I think Will fooled everybody with that off-balance attack. He was headed way out of bounds, reached over his head for that one. And Baldwin didn't quite see it coming. Brett McCormick, number 23 on the floor for the St. Clair Panthers. Number 20, Rob Senge, out for now. He's a defensive specialist. Basically from the back row, that was Neil Duran. Back set to Brett McCormick and down. Brett McCormick. 9 kills on the night for Brett. Trails only Austin Everett with 10. Panthers trail by 1. 4-3, game number 4. Overpass to the net and put right back down, but Baldwin's Brian Swickline was standing right there underneath where that tip came down. Will Shea to the back row. Neil Duran with a huge hit, but it sails about 4 feet long, and the Panthers have tied up. Game number 4, it's 4-4. Troy Murphy again with that serve. Short set, Brian Swickline. 4-hit called. Yeah, apparently did not touch a Panther defender, went into the net. 4-hit called. Point for the Panthers, and Troy Murphy again with a serve. On the right side, Brett Stanford, and again about 8 feet long. And suddenly Baldwin's getting some good looks, and they're sailing him along, something the Panthers have been doing most of the night. And it's working out. The Panthers with a 6-4 lead, trying to capture game number 4. Well, there's a service ace for Troy Murphy. Wasn't pretty, but it worked and did not come back. And the Panthers with a cute little 7-4 lead right now after trailing 4-1. No chance for Baldwin to use that one. The set from Troy Murphy. Does Brett McCormick. Oh, timing was a little bit off and sailed that one hugely long. Out of bounds, side out, and point to the Highlanders. Brett Stanford, number 22, steps up for the serve for Baldwin. Some controversy at the scorer's bench. Umpire checking with see that everybody's got the right numbers in the right spots. They never tell us up here in TV land what in the world is going on. something being edited. I wish I could tell you. I have no idea what's going on over at the scorers table, but everything seems to be right with the world. And we look to be back in business with Brett Stanford, number 22, the senior, and the serve. Rolls it right over the net. Troy Murphy, Johnny on the spot. Will Shea just inside. Will Shea. Well spotted. 2 kills tonight for Will Shea just inside the back line. Point and side out for the Panthers, and Will Shea steps to the line. Well, and I'm sure Coach Eric Falcione doesn't want that kind of thing to upset his team, because we got a good-looking, easy kill for tonight. But the offense has come on for the Panthers in these last 2 games. Austin Everett still leads everybody, as he usually does, but only with 10 kills tonight. It's kind of a low number for Austin, but still, he's the leader. Brett McCormick, who has come on strong in games number 2 and 3 at 9 kills. Troy Murphy with 4 on the virtue of him, and this, instead of setting, he sends that 2 ball over to the other side. Pat Ty with 2. Clay Mucha only with 2 tonight. Will Shea, the sophomore, number 9 with 2, and Scott Perry with 1. Excuse me, Pat Ty has 3. I didn't mean to forget Pat. Will Shea with the serve. Back set right side, no power from Baldwin. Troy Murphy, Scott Perry does the same thing, but Baldwin's ready for that one. Neil Giron comes through once again with not a powerful attack, but it did work. It's a kill. Side out and point to Baldwin, trailing by 2. Panthers lead 8-6. Well, Panthers not exactly playing power volleyball right now, trying to do this finesse-wise, finding the open spots. Troy Murphy, Scott Perry comes up short into the net. Good look, but short. Baldwin back within 1. It is 8-7. Panthers still with a 1-point lead. Scott Perry with power that time over the net and in play for the Highlanders. Travis Foster looking to get it over the net, drives it into it instead. Panthers side out and maintain the lead, 9-7. 2-point lead. The game goes to 25. This is game number 4. You play till somebody wins 3 of them. Baldwin has 2 in hand. Panthers 1. With power, Travis Foster comes through that time. Last time it was into the net. This time it's over the net and into the back right corner of the Panthers, and it's 9-8. Panthers still lead by 1. Substitutions: Mike DeLiza, number 23, back on, and this is Milan Jekic, number 5 for Baldwin, with a serve. Brett McCormick hits it right into the Baldwin double block, and a point for Baldwin, and we're all tied up at 9. Jekic once more with the serve. Troy Murphy to the left side. Scott Perry, a little top spin attack. Does not fool Baldwin. But that one, Brett Stanford using the net as his 6th, 7th man. Just rolls it over the net onto the St. Clair floor, and Baldwin has claimed the lead at 10-9. Milan Jekic again with a serve. Pat Ty giving Jekic a bit of a facial. He put his hands up in self-defense that time. Hope he's all right, but Pat Ty with the kill. With 10-all. Game number 4. Brett McCormick with the serve. Goes just long by a foot. Here again, you want it to land on that line. That time it went just long. Good decision by Baldwin. Service error. Point and side out to Baldwin. Nathan Swagger, the junior setter, with the serve now. Short set, Pat Ty, blocked right back by Mike DeLiza. Pat Ty couldn't quite get it around Mike, who's by far the tallest player on the Baldwin side of the floor. 12-10, 2-point Highlander lead. Left side, Scott Perry off the Baldwin block and down. Baldwin's defense getting it done for them right now, and it's a 13-10 Highlander lead, where the Panthers seem to be off to a pretty good start here in game number 4. The defense doing it for Baldwin. They lead 13-10. And I'm sure Coach Zebo trying to instruct his players not to hit it into the block, but rather around it. That's pretty basic volleyball. But right now, Panthers seem to be hitting it right into the blocks. Not many service aces tonight on the floor for the Panthers. Usually they've got they're in double figures, but Troy Murphy has 2. Scott Perry with 1. He's a senior. Austin Everett also has 1. Only 4 blocks for points as well. Pat Ty has 2, Austin Everett 1, and Scott Perry 1. Panthers needing a side out and to regain control of this ball right now. They do have the advantage. The receiving team's got the advantage of the first bump set attack. But let's see what Nathan Swager's got in the way of a serve. Time for the Panthers defense to shine. Zach Weber at the 2 ball from Troy Murphy did not fool Baldwin. Short set. Mike DeLizer blocked right back on the Baldwin side. To the left side. Another St. Clair block, but not for a point. Mike DeLizer, though, gets up real high. Mike DeLizer hitting it right at the feet of Will Shea. No chance for Will that time, and it's a 14-10 Baldwin lead. Well, Will Shea, I thought, had a pretty good pass at it. But it went off the right side of his wrist into the St. Clair bench, and now Baldwin with a 5-point lead at 15-10. Nathan Swager still with that serve. And another service ace, same deal, just happened to Will Shea. Happens to senior Scott Perry off his wrist and into the St. Clair bench. And it's a 6-point Baldwin lead at 16-10. And Jack Zebo, coach of the Upper St. Clair Panthers, doesn't like what happened after the last timeout he called. See if he gets another one and get his play. They seem to have lost their focus right now. Yeah, it's late. It's almost 9:30 by my watch. 9:40. But this is no time for the Panthers to be losing focus. These serves aren't that tough to handle. Baldwin just with a little edge right now. Let's see what the coach can come up with, and the Panthers need to refocus, get themselves a side out and 2 or 3 points before this game, and that consequently the match gets out of hand. Nathan Swager still with the serve. No major substitutions for the Panthers. I expect to see the same 6 on the floor we just had. Upper St. Clair needing a little bit of inspiration right now. Sure enough, the same 6 we just left with. Number 10, Troy Murphy. 18, Pat Ty. 15, senior Zach Weber. 20, sophomore Rob Senge. 9, sophomore Will Shea. 4, senior Scott Perry. Easy little serve. Pat Ty. There's a kill for Pat Ty. And what Coach Zebo had to say must have worked, because the Panthers did get that point and side out. They desperately needed to break that run of all Baldwin points. Panthers now trail by 5, 16-11. Nothing much for Baldwin. Let's see if the Panthers can use it. Rob sends Pat Ty to the back right corner where nobody was standing. Pat Ty, 2 kills in a row. 6 for him on the night. The Panthers are back within 4. See if Scott Perry can sneak one in someplace to keep this string going. Nope, that jinxed him. 10 or 12 feet long, side out and point to Baldwin at 17-12. Travis Foster, number 1, with the interesting haircut and the Baldwin serve. And what the serving gods give it, they taketh away, and we took it away from Baldwin. That serve comes up wide toward the crowd where I'm sitting, and Panthers trail by 4. 17-13, senior Zach Weber with the St. Clair serve. Right off the hands and backward. You like to see that. Just shoved over the net by Milan Jekic. The 2 ball from Troy Murphy did not fool Baldwin. And over by Scott Perry, just keeping this ball in play, no power. Off the block, and the net ball fooled Rob Senge and Zach Weber. Landed right in between them, but that happens when it hits the tape. It alters the flight of the ball and everybody's timing. 5-point Baldwin lead, 18-13. This is game number 4. If Baldwin wins this, it's over. Panthers need to come back if they expect to extend this to 5. Scott Perry digging that one out. Troy Murphy to Will Shea. Well, it looked like Brian Swickline, number 20 for Baldwin, somebody was in it. It looked like Brian Swickline was it. Net violation, point and side out for Upper St. Clair. Trailing by 4, 18-14. Top spin serve. Set left side into the St. Clair block. Well defended by the Panthers that time. Tip ball called. One of the St. Clair players touched it on its way out of bounds. It sailed out of bounds, but that touch means point for Baldwin. Number 22, Brett Stanford to the back row, and a 5-point Baldwin lead, 19-14. Set to the left side, Brett McCormick off the hands of Greg Hilliard, and Brett McCormick with his 10 kills tonight to tie Austin Everett for the team lead. Will Shea with a St. Panther serve, trailing by 4. Not much of a set, really. Not much Baldwin could do with that one. Back set to Scott Perry and a double hit. Well, that's unusual. You don't see Zach Weber get called for a double hit very often. But that's a very valuable point for Baldwin, and they lead 20-15. Brett McCormick didn't fool the Baldwin, but that overpass, Scott Perry took care of business with that overpass. All you got to do is put it on the floor. Scott took care of it, his second kill of the night. Panthers still trailing by 4. Trading points is not going to do it for the Panthers. Clay Mucha needs to run a few in a row, starting right here. Will Shea. Scott Perry on the left side. Baldwin smelled that one out. Brett McCormick off the block. From the back row, Brett Stanford, and way long, no touch that time. Point for the Panthers, back within 3 at 20-17. Clay Mucha needs a good serve, no errors at this stage of the game, match rather. Travis Foster off the Brett McCormick block. Successful kill for Baldwin. They got that 4-point lead, 21-14. 17 rather, excuse me, 21-17. And Milan Jekic to the back line with a serve. Both teams playing patty cake at the net right now, and St. Clair comes up short, lands right in front of Scott Perry in the net. 5-point Baldwin lead now, 22-17. Panthers in dangerous territory now. Hard driving serve by Milan Jekic. On the 2 ball, did not fool Baldwin. Mike DeLizer, though, into the Scott Perry block and out of bounds. 6-point advantage now for Baldwin, 23-17. They win this game, it's all over. Panthers needing a run of points right now to extend this. Well, there's one. Service error gives it back to the Panthers. They still trail by 5. 23-18, sophomore Brett McCormick with the serve. Panthers needing 5. Scott Perry long and no touch. And now this is extremely dangerous territory. Baldwin's got 6 match points in hand right now. Panthers needing 6 to keep this match alive. Any one of them for Baldwin, and this is over. Will Shea to the front line. Short set to Pat Ty off 2 hands, and Baldwin gets to that one. Scott Perry now from the left side into a block. Dug out of the net. Right at the net, and that one will be out of bounds. There's one of them. Panthers needing 5 now to stay in this match. Receiving team has the edge. If they can pick up the serve, they get the first shot at an attack. Scott Perry, the senior, way back behind the back line with the serve. Good set, and Zach Weber making sure that ball stays alive. Won't be much on it for Baldwin. See if the Panthers can use it. Zach Weber again to Troy Murphy. Set to Will Shea to the block and down. There's one more. Will Shea. Panthers within 4 at 24-20. And now Coach Eric Falcione, one more timeout for his Chargers. They really only need one more point. And the Panthers have gotten back 2 of the 6 they need to stay in this match. Brett McCormick and Austin Everett still tied for the team lead with 10 kills each. Pat Ty with 6, Troy Murphy 4, Will Shea 3, Clay Mucha with 3, and Scott Perry with 2. But it would be nice if Coach Zebo had a play called out here. First and foremost, Panthers are going to play some defense and not allow this first attack by Baldwin to end this match. Scott Perry. Be nice to put the old stealth serve on. The knuckler handled by Baldwin. From the left side, Brett Stanford gotten out of there by the Panthers. Can we use it? No. Scott Perry just shoving the ball over the net. Nathan Swager to the back row, and nothing for Baldwin that time. Once again, a tough set by Troy Murphy. So nobody's able to get the power attack, and that one, well, there's one more. Nobody was able to get a power attack that time, and the Panthers run 3 points in a row, back with still needing 3 to salvage this match, but they're getting them 1 at a time here. And on the 2 ball, Zach Weber flying across the court to grab that one. Will Shea did not fool Baldwin. Now from the left side, off the tip. Troy Murphy right back to Will Shea. Off a wrist, and 1-2, and they do get it over. Nathan Swager comes back with it. Surprise the Panthers. Ball still in play. Mike DeLizer finally finishes things. A valiant effort by the Panthers, but Baldwin comes back to win the deciding game number 4, 25-21, and that will do it for us tonight as Baldwin comes into the Panthers' home court at Upper St. Clair High School, comes away with a 3-1 victory by scores of 27-25, 25-18. Panthers took game number 3, 25-16, and Baldwin captures game number 4 in the match at 25-21. My name is Kevin McGahey. Mike Shogri has been my ace videographer tonight. We appreciate all his help. We're glad you were with us on Upper St. Clair Cable 7, and watch again for future matches. Thanks, everybody, and good night.